welcome to Scrub Mode. Happy New Year, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. I know it's the 24th, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, this is coming out on the 24th.
We are recording on the 13th, though, so at time of writing, man, a lot of our home is on fire.
Oh, peek behind the veil.
I mean, I'll say,
veil.
as far as I'm aware, so far we have been lucky.
We're
we don't
fine.
need any help.
I'm
Look
okay.
this up on the archives. There was a fire that was going on. It's
There's
pretty
a
The
fire
big.
biggest
going on.
fire.
Pretty big one.
No, it's the
Three
fifth
of them.
biggest fire.
Like five,
okay?
maybe?
It's the fifth biggest fire.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good luck out
Our
there.
history of fires in California is a storied one.
Yeah.
I have
Fires
goofy
is
shit if we get to it to lighten the mood today. I got some goofy stuff.
I'm excited. Welcome.
Looking
My name's
forward to
Julio,
it.
by the way.
Oh, yeah, shit. We
my name's
haven't
Julio.
casted a pod in a hot minute. I'm John. That tall
I'm
drink of water is Ryan.
Yeah.
You can't tell that I'm tall, but I'm here.
Welcome to Scrub Mode, the show that sits at the intersection of gaming and monsters. Like I said, my name's
Dungeons.
Julio, and I do this little podcast with my two friends, and we're just gonna talk about some goofy stuff today, right?
Yeah, you guys
Is that
want to
Monster
hear it?
Manual
Exactly.
episode? We do those still, right?
No, I was gonna do a Monster Manual episode, but I was just like, I want to talk about goofy shit.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm putting my,
I need a
my
fresh
interests
start, man.
ahead.
If
I
I
need
if I
a
were a
fresh-
little smart, we're gonna talk about some cursed and haunted items.
Okay.
Cursed and haunted. I love this shit.
Okay, yeah, you expand on that. Do you have a favorite in D&D in the real world?
Just haunted things in general.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, cursed, especially. The nebulous nature of a curse intrigues me. I don't know. You know, it's like this thing. It just has a little spirit attached to it that hates and hates and hates.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I understand a curse to be.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not like my most favorite one, but like the most notable one that I like is the monkey's paw,
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
where it's a cursed wishing item.
Yeah.
It gives you the thing, but it's not what you want.
Yeah. It'll give
They'll
you a
twist
little.
it in a way.
Yeah,
boy,
the
sure
monkey paw.
seems like we've been getting a lot of monkey paw wishes recently, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
It does, especially with AI. Oh my god, we were just talking about AI, but I don't know if I want
Not
a
to
huge
talk
fan.
about AI.
Pre-show conversation, we were getting into AI.
Trying to warm up.
Yeah, trying
but
to
it's
come to terms with this reality we've built for ourselves.
let's pull you into the fold for a little bit. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever reach true AI, not in our lifetimes at least.
Okay.
Unless someone makes a
Skynet
major breakthrough.
Is or like won't
Not even
destroy us.
Skynet, just like one guy who's like
Or
really
AM.
dedicated and is like a genius.
Yeah,
Like we'll never reach like a computer that we've built that is able to think for itself. Not like analyze a bunch of Google searches or Bing searches and then like be like, oh yeah, this is what Wikipedia said 2 minutes ago.
I hate that
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
AI right now.
You know, like that's all.
This
the
is what some
quote-unquote
dumbass
AI
on Reddit
is.
said.
Yeah.
No, that's my favorite. Like the Google quote unquote AI, which again, everybody, it's just
Oh.
large learning
It's just
models.
Googled
all they
wrong,
do.
right? Most of the
All-
time.
yeah. Well, all it does is it just scrapes the internet for any information that it deems relevant, whether it's like wrong or right.
Mhm.
And there was one
Like,
where
I love how AI scientists have called that the AI is just hallucinating. You
I
know?
mean, we
sure.
talked about that in the Shoggoth
Sure.
episode, right?
Yeah.
I do have to
But,
bring up because it's
yeah.
a Lovecraftian horror. You are aware. This sounds like some Alex Jen shit, but this is real. You are aware that we're starting to grow brains from stem cells and partner them
Oh.
with computers.
That's
Ooh.
kind of scary and cool.
Yeah, right. Oh
That's
boy,
kind
I
that's
didn't know
the
it
kind of
could be-
cyberpunk shit that I
I
like.
think there's some ethical concerns, but isn't that just
I'm sure
Warhammer
there is.
40k? Where
It
you
kind of
got
is, yeah.
a
Yeah.
lobotomized human brain doing the computer work because you can't trust a
The thing
computer.
is, the thing that I'm kind of iffy about that is it's grown, right? It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like taken
Well,
from it. They're not like taking people and like
No,
No,
I
brains.
still like. Are those things conscious? Do they feel pain? Is it ethical? I don't know.
Who
Where's
knows, man? I mean, a
the
brain.
ERB?
It's crazy,
Right.
right? It's crazy if you
I
really think about it. Maybe
I
that
mean,
is the
like
brain in the jar.
if they get it into like the RoboCop 2, like the robot that screams and then shoots itself in the head,
Yeah.
like then we'll have to worry.
I did not see RoboCop until way too late.
Yeah. I
It's
think
still
we
great
watched
because I
it
love.
together, right? I think we must have
Well, yeah, I
watched it
think we
together.
might have. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah. RoboCop's crazy.
I
It's a
love
crazy
I
movie.
actually love
RoboCop was
RoboCop.
fantastic.
It's a great movie.
I
It's
actually love
classic.
RoboCop 1
Verhoeven
was
in
amazing.
general.
Yeah.
Starship
Yeah.
Troopers, RoboCop,
Yeah.
RoboCop
Showgirls?
1 and Showgirls. Yeah, and Showgirls. That is also a Verhoeven movie.
Wow.
Um,
He's got quite the range.
Yes.
but yeah. Anyway, to close out the thought, my favorite thing is that someone shared with me a Google AI like search response, and it was about like oh, what's the it's like what's the best part for your computer? And like the second thing it brought up is like someone on Reddit said kill yourself.
Yep.
It's like okay. Not relative to the one relative to the search that I had, but okay, thank you.
Thank you, Reddit. All
Wow.
right.
Thank you, Google AI, quote unquote.
Um, have you guys ever heard of haunted bunk beds?
Haunted bunk beds.
Isn't that just where like your older brother like rips a fart on the top bunk?
Yeah, close to it. All right, I have a story about some haunted bunk beds for you. Woo!
Oh my god.
All right, so it is 1987, and
80 Chevron.
Ooh,
Alan and Deborah Tallman of Horicon, Wisconsin, have moved into a new house.
HorrorCon?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but it's HORICON.
Horicon.
Oh, okay.
Horicon. It sounds like
Horicon.
Horicon.
Yeah.
Horicon.
I was like, they
It's
came
not
from
a
a
horror
convention?
convention. It's a
Yes.
Horicon. It's
Yeah.
almost like
It's
a bad guy
city.
name almost. Horicon.
Yeah. I can see that. Like
Yeah.
you mix that up a little bit. It's an evil wizard.
Yeah, could be. Evil
Evil
wizard name.
wizard. They do the bad thing.
Yeah.
They're a
Anyway,
warlock.
so
Okay, so
1987.
they have 3 kids. One of them is a baby, and one of them just graduated from a crib to a big boy bed. And they were like, "Hey, you know what we need in this new house? We need some bunk beds."
Yeah. So much room for activities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was
There you
hoping
go.
someone's gonna make that joke. Real quick, I guess, like top or bottom bunk. What's your pick?
I will always love top bunk.
That's
I
true.
like top bunk. I have a top,
Top bunk
but
is my
I like
my
that.
jam.
Okay. That's we're set for sleepovers then, because I'm a bottom bunk guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I used to like
Thank
the top
God.
bunk. Now I think it's too hot.
I love the
Yeah?
top bunk. I love being so high.
Okay.
I'm so high. To be in the top bunk.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I like having I had a loft too when I was a
Ooh.
young lad.
When he was a
Well,
wee lad.
When I was a wee one. I had a loft with a little desk underneath it and a shelf.
Oh, wonderful.
It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah.
That's a great layout for a bed.
Yeah.
So much room for activities.
So much
I know,
room for it.
Anyway, so how did this bunk bed get haunted?
Oh well, spoiler, we'll never know. But they just went to a secondhand store and they're like, "Oh, cheap bunk beds, sweet."
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's grounds for haunting.
It is.
I mean, yeah, you go through, you pick up a ghost going thrifting, man.
That's.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. Maybe this is our in. Maybe we pitched the Discovery Show. A cross between like Ghost Adventures and like American Pickers, where we go to like Goodwills and look for haunted items.
I got a feeling about this.
where
snow
it's
globe.
what do you call it? It's Antique Roadshow, but it's cursed.
Yes.
Cursed Antique Roadshow. Yeah,
I don't think that's a good idea, but I do think that's exactly the kind of show History Channel or Discovery Channel would air right now.
Definitely
man.
History Channel.
Talk
Okay,
to us,
trademark,
Mr.
trademark,
Finn.
trademark. Don't
Trademark,
steal,
yeah.
don't steal.
I've
Sorry, you
already
can't take
mailed
that.
the
You can't
idea
take
to
that.
I've already mailed the idea to myself.
Yeah, exactly. Poor man's copyright.
Yeah.
It's in our hand. It's
We
in our
got the
pocket.
recording. By the time this comes out, History Channel will fucking know. You
Yeah.
dirty stealers.
You take it from us, you're dead.
More importantly, the people will know.
Yes.
All of our fans. In, like,
All
what was
died.
it, Argentina?
Yeah.
Hear
Anyway.
that? The Argentinians got it back.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
haunted bunk bed. They bring it inside, and all of a sudden, they start to get spooky static on the radios. All the radios get spooky
ooh,
static.
Spooky static.
how are we gonna listen to our radio shows?
Exactly.
God dang it.
Hmm.
So then, this part is actually a little creepy to me. Very shortly after, all their kids started to get sick.
Ugh.
Like, repeatedly
Okay.
just kept getting sick. And, small kids do that, is my understanding. They just
They're
Yeah, little
licking
babies get
things
sick all the time.
constantly.
So this is maybe normal, but to give these people credit, they did call out like a home inspector to see if like maybe there was asbestos or mold in their new house, and that
Ooh.
was why everyone was feeling
Smart.
shitty.
That would suck. It
Yeah.
is 1987.
Yeah, and they found
You can't
nothing.
trust.
Okay, good.
Oh,
But that's more than most we get with most of these things. Normally, somebody's like, "I
exactly.
feel sick. I had a bad dream. This house got demons."
Mhm.
We just bought this bunk bed. It must be the reason.
Yeah,
I
Luckily,
remember.
these people had like common sense and were just like, maybe
Yeah,
we're
this
like
reminds me
really
of
close to
another.
mold in the walls.
yeah.
This
Maybe this
reminds me
entire
of.
house is made of asbestos.
This reminds me of
Maybe.
this other story of this apartment complex where everyone who stayed in this one room got cancer.
Jesus
Like,
Oh,
Christ.
and turns out that there was a there was some kind of tool used for detecting radiation in a wall. I forget what it was called.
what
What
the
kind of
fuck?
tool?
Like a Geiger counter?
A Geiger counter, yeah. And apparently, Geiger counters give off radiation themselves
Yeah, that makes
in
sense.
small doses. If you have to be careful when you're using it.
Yeah.
So there's a Geiger counter that was lost, and was found inside the wall. And the thing is, they were like the cement, the stones that they got to build that building were where the Geiger counter was lost at. It was like it was
Oh.
a I forget where I'm hearing this where I heard the story from.
We'll put it in the show notes if you can find it.
I'll try and
Yeah.
find it and I'll put it in there. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
People
That
thought
that is
ghosts for a minute, but it turns out it was a
yeah.
lost Geiger counter.
so good for my anxiety. This story, very good.
That's pretty wild because like how like was the Geiger counter like lost in the exact position where like they would put their bed or something? Like how long do you have
No,
to
the
be
thing is that the Geiger counter was lost in a cave, and the cave was later like mined for like
like
stone to make
stone?
concrete,
Oh.
and
Oh,
Oh.
and they used the
Oh, so
concrete.
like the radiation leaked into the
yeah, I thought there was a Geiger counter in the house. It was a Geiger. It was the
No,
radioactive
yeah.
stones.
exactly. The Geiger
Yeah.
counter was in the cement. They actually had to like dig into the wall to like get it out.
Not
It
Yeah,
to
was still
ta-
in one piece?
it was still in one piece. Yeah, it was still
not
What the
working.
to
fuck?
not to tangent off your tangent, and I'm gonna do a quick job of this, and I'm not gonna do
Uh-huh.
it correctly because I have to remember it. But in Brazil, there was a story where like a hospital went out of business, and because of Brazilian politics at the time, like it didn't get cleaned out properly, so it was just abandoned overnight, and
Ooh.
people looted that shit.
Ooh.
And somebody fucking whacked into the one of the X-ray machines and found a bunch of, I think it was cesium, which
What the
in
fuck?
its native state was like a blue dust. So they just like took the blue dust home. They smeared it on, like they're like, look at this cool blue dust. Look, beautiful eyeshadow. Um, and so like
Well,
basically,
eyeshadow.
yeah,
Oh
they like
wow.
let their kids play with it, and basically everyone got super cancer.
Damn.
Like their entire extended
Oh,
family was just like because they dragged this thing
oh.
home, played with the gunk inside, like, and it's like it's not. How could they have known, right? It's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault, but oh,
That does
man.
suck.
I'll see if I can link that story. Boy, we're not doing a very good job of keeping this light and fun, are we?
It's the
No,
vibes,
we're
I
doing
guess. I
great.
don't know.
I think we're
Yeah.
doing great.
Okay. Haunted bunk bed, sick kids. They
Right.
do at least a little investigation, find out it's not a prosaic explanation, and
Mhm.
that's when the ghost shit starts.
Oh
Uh-oh.
man.
They begin to see poltergeist activity. Woo!
Oh,
Okay.
Floating objects.
oh.
Getting scratched a little bit sometimes.
Floating objects. Getting scratched? Okay.
Getting scratched. Doors slamming. Strange voices calling out of nowhere.
Mm.
And then I think my favorite part of the story, family and friends who would come over would also get sick. This would happen so often that eventually Deborah's mother was like, "Hey, I love my grandkids. I'm not coming to your fucking house.
Oh wow.
It sucks, dude. Your house sucks. It makes me feel bad." For a grandma to be like, "Yo, fuck, I love your kids, but fuck this." That's got to be pretty.
Yeah.
That must be
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
That's pretty
Yeah.
bad. Yeah. Wow.
Can you imagine if your digs were so shit? People were just like, "I'm sorry, homie. It's not you, I promise."
That would suck. I would hate to have something that would stop people from wanting to be around me at my domicile, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so I forgot to mention that. Skip this line, but like the bunk bed is in the house, but the kids are not sleeping on it yet. It is in the basement for some reason. I've had to check with my Wisconsin friends, and sometimes you just do that because it's not like guest season,
Okay.
and they have basements with really tall ceilings there.
That's nice. I wish
Yeah.
I wish we could do that.
Yeah, why doesn't LA have basements?
Earthquakes, I think. Hard to earthquake proof a basement, I think.
I guess. I was like,
Probably
it'd be
really.
so cool when it's hot out if you're chilling in the basement. If you have a
It
finished
would
basement.
it would be cool until the house fell on you, I guess, because
Yeah.
of an earthquake. That's the only reason I could think of. I don't know. Maybe there's some other reason.
Anyway, so they were like, okay, kid's big enough. Let's move these bunk beds up from the basement.
Okay.
Their oldest child, Danny, slept in the room next to the bunk bed. Why? And after his parents said goodnight to him, his clock radio allegedly turned itself on and then randomly switched channels under its own powers. That's a tenuous connection to the bunk bed itself, but there you go.
The bunk bed wants to watch TV through the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Okay.
Goosebumps.
Look, man, I'm not gonna fight the bunk bed at this point.
Bunk bed got hands.
Yeah.
It wants TV. Its time on TV will be had.
His parents did not believe him Goosebump style.
Right.
Of course not. Yeah.
Right.
They're like, you're going crazy.
But that's when it got even spookier, because in the following days, even the parents started to see ghostly, shadowy figures out of the corners of their eyes. When they turned to look, they'd be gone.
Those are spooky when that
Yeah.
happens.
I've heard sometimes like radon poisoning or carbon monoxide poisoning can cause that, but
Oh, really?
it's a bunk bed. It's a haunted bunk bed that's doing it, for sure.
Yeah, and they already checked the house for stuff
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah, allegedly.
Right. Excuse me.
And then, spookier still, when the youngest daughter slept in the bunk bed, she claimed that she had seen a 3-foot-tall, red-eyed witch leering at her from behind the door.
Yeah.
3 foot tall, a little shorty,
A little shorty
Yeah.
witch, a little goblin witch.
little goblin
Just
witch.
just a little guy.
How do we know this goblin's like profession is a witch? How do we?
Well, she
are we
had
talking,
she
like,
had
witch
hat?
a witch's hat and a witch's robe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why are we trusting a 2-year-old? I don't fucking know. Look, I'm not a
She wants to
parent,
watch
but I
TV through the
know.
wall, okay?
I know children never make stuff up, right?
It's like the first thing they learned to do.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so as she was scared of the witch paralyzed her
Mm.
and then created the illusion of fire burning up the room.
Okay. Sounds like some, like the what do you call it again?
Sleep paralysis, like we
Sleep
talked about last episode.
Yeah, sleep paralysis.
Complete with a witch.
Yeah.
Anyway, when her mother came back to check on her, the witch and the fire suddenly disappeared from her view.
Okay. Okay. It's. I mean. Okay.
Yeah? You're not convinced by the testimony of a 2-year-old?
Mm,
Forced to sleep in a big bed for the first time?
I mean.
Okay,
No.
Wait, hold on.
I guess I
Maybe
just gotta
just as
say
bad
no.
as the parents. We'll be goosebumping this guy.
I like goosebumping as a verb.
Goosebumping, wherein a responsible adult does not listen to their child because they're a child.
Your child saying some whack ass shit, but you know,
I
But it
mean,
could be real.
could be
What if the
real.
monster
you
blood
never
was
know.
real, dog?
You never know. What
Man,
It made my dog grow big.
that okay, we can't do a Goosebumps tangent, but I think that and Deep Trouble have like the best cover to worst story ratios, where it's like the cover is so
It's so
scary
true.
with the
Yeah.
So
monster blood dripping down the stairs, and the book is just
Jim.
like, yeah, my aunt's a witch, but she wasn't my real aunt, and my dog ate monster
Yeah.
blood and killed her. The end.
I like
The
the
end.
TV show. I remember the TV show with the werewolf
I
dad.
love the TV show.
Or was
The TV
that
shows
was
are
that Are You
good
Afraid of the
time.
Dark? I get those mixed up.
Are You Afraid of the Dark
They're
was
so
also a fun
similar.
TV show.
They're so
Yeah.
similar, right?
They're both horror for children. It's just that Are You Afraid of the Dark went a little, like, sometimes went harder in the paint.
A little bit, yeah. I remember the werewolf dad. Remember
Yeah.
That's
my
a good
dad's a
one.
werewolf?
Where the
Yeah.
twist was like, well, now I have a dog and a dad.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I also fondly remember the one that was like, I fell asleep watching it. It's so boring. But the story of train magic, where there is a how, there's a magical older black man who is a train conductor, and anytime the young white protagonist is in trouble, he just shows up and he's like, "Remember, train magic is the most powerful magic of all." And it's become a meme among my friend group where we're just like, "Hey, power of friendship, not shit compared to trains."
Train magic is the real magic.
Train magic's stronger than friendship. Train magic's stronger than love. It's stronger than light. Stronger than evil. Nothing can
Yeah.
beat train magic.
Wow.
Stronger than power.
Train magic.
Can you name a single train spell? I can't.
Wait. What? You mean like a
train
model?
spell?
No.
A train spell.
A train
Oh.
spell.
Train magic.
Like you have
Train-
necromancy, you have friendship, you know, abjuration, conjuration. I can't name a train spell. It's too powerful. I'm not. They keep it too secret.
Can't even fathom it, man.
It's one of the forbidden ones.
Can't even fathom it.
Yeah, you're right. There's no locomotive spell.
No.
No trolley, no tram, no train, no locomotive.
I can't go on this train tangent anymore.
All right. I will say real quick. Maybe we should watch.
Should we
Maybe
watch?
we should watch a Goosebumps or a Are You Afraid of the Dark, and then
I'm down
review
for
it
that.
here for funsies.
That'd be fun.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm
yeah,
down.
we can do that.
All right.
You know what? It's fucking one more Goosebumps tangent. The fucking bad hair day.
Yeah.
The one where the kid starts growing an uncomfortably large amount of hair all over his body, and then it turns out that people in his neighborhood are turning into dogs.
Yeah.
that one was just like, whoa.
If I recall correctly, the twist was even weirder than that. It was like, yeah, actually, you guys were dogs to begin with. We turned you into kids. You just don't remember being a dog. And the formula doesn't last very long, so now you're turning back into dogs. It's fine. We'll still love you as a dog.
It was just strange, in general, because, at one point, the whole story just kind of gave up on itself.
I think that's a lot. I as someone who loves Goosebumps, that's half the Goosebumps stories. It feels like Mr. Jovial Bob Stein has the Stephen King problem, where his typewriter just doesn't have a backspace.
Yeah. I accidentally wrote dog. What do I do? Oh, might as well keep going.
Yep. I'm going until I hit the word count, and I'm not stopping a second sooner, and I'm not editing shit.
I have to fill in
Is Stephen King
45
problematic?
pages.
I can't remember.
I think
Probably
he's
not.
a cool. I think he is generally a cool dude. Granted, there is an infamous child orgy scene in it.
Oh yeah, in it, yeah.
That is weird,
That's
right?
true.
That is weird, and
Where all the kids have a giant gangbang with the one female.
yeah.
Wow.
With the one female in their group, but it's just was this necessary in the book? It's what serves in the story for this?
Wow.
Anyway, we can't haunted bunk beds.
Haunted bunk beds.
bunk
There's
That are
haunting bunk beds here. They haven't even
it's
realized.
infiltrated by a small witch that wants to watch television.
Yes.
And no one believes their 2-year-old.
No.
You gotta believe the 2-year-old.
Stop goosebumping your children, dude.
So the parents never told the other children about this fire witch encounter, this little Yoda goblin.
Yeah.
But Danny
Little
got to sleep
red-eyed.
in the bunk bed again. And that night, he also saw an old woman hanging out by his door. One with, quote, hair that glowed like fire.
Ew.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of badass, actually.
That's
Yeah.
pretty rad. That's pretty rad. Let's not
Okay.
kid ourselves here.
Let's do a tiny spot of D&D, all right? So you were this family.
Okay.
A witch is haunting your bunk bed.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
What's your first move?
Get a cleric, I guess. Me.
I mean, if I was a like do it myself kind of guy, probably like make sure I read up on all the proper counter spells, and then just end up kind of like throwing salt in the area.
Yep. No, Julio's correct. They go to their local pastor.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot safer than like a do-it-yourself solution.
Yeah. So this being the height of the Satanic Panic, the pastor was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, you got a demon here."
got a
Are they
demon.
Irish or something?
Right.
They would, like,
I can't
they
remember
show
which
up and it's like,
denomination
yes,
really is into the
your bunk bed is
exorcisms.
invaded by an evil spirit.
A non-human corporeal entity.
Yeah.
It's a witch. A dog, human, witch, corporeal entity.
Who's just really good at skateboarding.
Exactly. It does
Anyway.
sick kick flips once in a while.
Man, could you imagine a whole bunk bed doing a kickflip?
Oh.
So
Put
the bunk
that guy
bed's
in
like-
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Is the bunk bed sentient at this point? Is this what you're?
Probably.
I don't know. Is the
Or
witch a
get that.
projection of the bunk bed?
Is the projected witch image like the bunk bed's true form?
It's hard
Was
to tell
it
what's
like-
going on.
Like, were they, I don't know, like witch hunted and then like their remains grew into a tree and then the tree was
Ooh.
reforged into a bunk bed?
I
which is
like
why
this
they're so
lore. I like this lore you're creating, Ryan.
When I
mad.
die, I
Like,
want to
it's
turn
possible,
into a
you know,
tree.
their evil magics has permeated the wood.
Yeah.
I like that lore a lot. But no, we prepare yourselves. We get no. There's no catharsis in this story. There's no conclusion.
No,
So,
as usual, but you know, it
Yeah.
still hurts.
every time we do one of these stories, I feel like I have to warn up top, like, hey, this isn't a movie. Like, it's going to get really creepy at the start of Act 2, and it's going to quickly peter off.
It's gonna deflate.
Okay.
It's going to go out with a wet fart instead of a
Yeah.
bang.
It's the check your pants kind of fart.
Yeah.
It's nothing happened.
So in something ripped out of a Lovecraft story, a week before Christmas, Danny saw something so horrifying that he couldn't explain it to his mother. He was so scared he wouldn't go inside the house anymore.
See.
Okay.
So Alan, the dad, he got real mad, and he told the spirits to get out of his house.
Get out of here.
And if you want to fight somebody, fight me. Leave my children alone.
I can only imagine the dad just coming into the kid's bedroom, yelling at the bunk bed. He's all like, "All right, that's it. The priest told me that you're haunted and that you're an evil spirit. I want you out of this house." Just pointing at the door. You gotta get out of here. If you're not paying rent, you're not allowed to stay. I built this home for my wife and my 3 children.
Get out of here.
Get out.
I didn't ask for the elderly. I have my mother to blame.
She cuts back to the mother being like, that house is still shit. I hate it. Makes me
I
feel
don't like living in there.
your house is yucky.
You carpet smell.
So 3 weeks later, Alan returns home from working late shift to hear an eerie howling sound.
I don't like that.
It's just a house settling.
Yeah, so
Eerie
as he's
Colorado.
rolling around in the front yard, like trying to find the source of the noise, he realizes it's coming from his garage.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, while Alan is like sort of looking in through the garage window from the other side of the garage door, the big slidey garage door, he says that he hears a voice say, "Come here."
That's not good. I don't
Do you,
trust that.
so okay, well, I think you just gave me the answer, but I was about to ask, like, Ryan, you
Yeah.
hear a ghost say, "Come here." Do you go there,
Do you come here?
Hell no.
Julio?
Nah.
Yeah, okay, so this dumbass goat, he follows the voice.
He goes. Oh!
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know how those end. Like you start lifting the garage door, suddenly you got fucking hands around your ankles and you're scratching at the concrete, getting back
Yep.
in. That's
So
like a no return situation, dog.
So he goes over to the corner where he heard the "come here," and of course he finds fucking nothing. But as soon as he gets there and is about to give up, he hears "come here" come from another corner.
Wow.
Um, and then
Typical.
he turned to look back at the garage, and it looked like it was on fire to him.
Oh my god.
Some kind of fire spirit.
Yeah.
It looked
Some
like it
kind
was
of
on fire.
auditory hallucination.
So again, this is a very strange sequence of events to me. He sees that his garage is burning through the little garage window, and he runs into the burning garage.
Okay.
He doesn't
Okay.
like warn his sleeping family and children or any like he's gonna
He's
fight the
just
fire.
He's got to go physically fight the
He
fire.
had no water, just his fists.
So he runs inside, and for some reason, he before fighting the fire, he locks the door behind him and sets down his lunchbox. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, the garage is on
What
fire."
else?
I went inside to go and check on it. I don't know if somebody canceled his sim action. I don't know what the fuck is happening here.
What else did he do? Did he roll up his sleeves and like take a pugilist stance? Like he was like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do, fire."
So yeah, he runs to go beat up the fire, and indeed, once he actually enters the garage, he sees that it is not on fire.
Okay.
So
He's
this ghost is really giving them the runaround.
Yeah.
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 So he went back into the house from the garage, and he goes to pick up his lunchbox, and right as he's about to grab it, an invisible force kicks it across the room.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Which
A
was
real
probably just
petty
like his
shit.
foot.
Yeah. He's like, no, can't
What a
have it.
dick.
So a few nights later, Alan was sleeping on the floor of the bunk bedroom, like in order to protect his family from the ghost. When he sees a green fog with red eyes materialize in front of him,
Oh shit. Okay.
this fog monster just says, "You're dead," and disappears.
You're dead.
Thank you.
Oh,
This scared this dude so bad that he was crying, and his wife had to call
Oh.
a pastor again.
Pastor, please help.
I can't. Just like for the first time, I know it's a demon, but I can't do anything to help.
I have no way of fighting this thing.
Yeah.
But you're a pastor. Were you not gifted the power of God? Do you not have your crux to channel his strength?
Like, this is far be it from me, but like, if my pastor's like, "You got a demon," and I'm like, "You have to help me. There's a demon attacking my husband and my children," and the pastor's like, "I don't know what the fuck to do. I can't help you twice." I find a new religion. Like, I'm
Yeah.
done with whatever.
Yeah, I know, right?
For me,
That makes sense.
For me, it's just like, couldn't you have at least learned like a little smite spell or something?
At least
like something?
bless the house. Like, even if
Yeah.
you're not one of the denominations that believes in holy water, like, give me a little razzle dazzle. Give me something.
I feel like, yeah, like
Salt,
that was the thing I was
something,
gonna bring up.
Throw some salt over your shoulder, whatever.
Touch a
Give me
cross to
something.
all four corners of the house and be like, "Be
Yeah.
gone."
Yeah, just do something. Like I'm sure that like even if you don't believe in holy water, like you said, like I'm sure it has some kind of mystical force that I could believe in.
Yeah.
You could be all like, "Here you go," and then just like put a little droplets in a few rooms. That should
Yeah.
like aerate the home of spirits.
Just
Just
like
tell us to like leave the windows open.
Like normally in these stories, the priest is like, "Let me come over and do a blessing," and either the blessing does nothing or it makes things worse. This is the first story I know where the priest was just like, "I can't do shit, dude. I don't. That's not in my league."
The priest is just like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I feel like
didn't
that
get
priest
my
is new to
priest
the religion,
license.
and he's like, "You look, man, I just recently accepted Jesus Christ as my savior, and they kind of made me the priest, and now you're telling me demons are real,
He's
and
like,
I'm gonna have to deal with
if
this."
we're talking medieval times, I'm like a page. I haven't been knighted yet.
Yeah. So Alan is like, I gotta work late, and my wife fucking hates the house, so I need somebody to watch the kids this night. And he's got a friend who's like, I don't believe in demons or ghosts. I don't give a fuck. I'll go into your shitty yucky house and watch your kids.
That's a good guy. That's a good guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So
I know
this,
you're complaining about ghosts a lot, but like, fuck them.
yeah.
They don't bother me.
So this dude shows up. He hangs out with the kids, um, and while he's sleeping on the floor of the bunk bedroom, he and the two little girls both see the green fog with red eyes. And
All
this
right.
scares them so bad, I guess they get the little boy, Danny, and they flee the house.
Wow. That house made him a believer.
Yeah. So, like, Alan, at this point, they're like, okay, we've tried nothing and we're out of options. So he had the bunk bed thrown into a private landfill. I don't know what that means.
A private
Are
landfill?
there-
I don't know either, but okay.
Are there public and private landfills? Are
I
there?
don't think so. A
Like,
a
who would
private
have
landfill is
Yeah.
that. I don't understand. You telling me these people are just polluting?
Yeah,
Essentially.
I think that's what a private landfill.
that's what it
is.
sounds like.
It sounds like, right?
It's a hole in somebody's backyard. What is it?
It's my private landfill.
Yeah, welcome to the private landfill. You pay about 15 cents a month, and then you get to just throw whatever's, whatever you can fit in the hole.
Cheaper than the city. Cheaper than what the city charges. Come on.
How do you dispense of the landfill once it's full? I don't. I just cover it with the dirt that I dug out, and then I just make a new hole that you throw dirt in.
I guess maybe I can put an above ground pool over top of it once we're done.
I'm sure that the accumulated waste and the possible pollution that it does to the groundwater that's underneath wouldn't affect us in our immediate lifetime, but
You know,
the children in the future.
Mhm.
It's the strangest thing. There's like ghost witches, ghost fire witches in my water now.
Yeah.
It's the strangest thing. We dumped a cursed bunk bed into this private landfill. And now whenever I pour out water in the good old year of 2024, it comes out green with red eyes. Strangest, damnedest thing.
So this seems to work. No more haunting. They've moved to a different town. And the coda on the story is like the house becomes a local ghost tour. At one point, the police have to be called because a drunken Wisconsin man showed up with a Bible threatening to fight the devil. But they arrested him for drunk driving.
Oh, okay. I was all like, oh, you're going to arrest him for, like, crusading under
What
the
charges? Oh, what charges?
Yeah. Crusading under the name of God? It's like, no, you drove here on a .8.
Yeah. I don't want to. My brother lived in Wisconsin, so I don't want to cast aspersions on Wisconsin people. But what I understand is culturally, there's a lot of drunk driving.
Honestly, it's just something that you do on the weekend.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't. That's not. Yeah.
It's a recreational Wisconsin thing.
I've had family killed by drunk drivers. This is not an
It's not
endorsement.
good.
No, don't.
No.
Don't.
Anyway, that's the haunted bunk. God,
It is a joke.
I'm gonna take this
Alright.
episode by its bootstraps. I'm gonna pull up the joy. We keep sinking.
Okay.
Pull it up
Pull it up.
like you're saving someone from a quicksand pit.
Yeah.
Exercise is deep.
That's the haunted bunk beds. What do you think about this one?
Wow.
It's very
So it
silly.
just kind of it really does just peter out.
He just fucking chucks it into the garbage, and that's the end of it.
Well,
And,
you know,
well, not just that, but they moved out of the house.
Yeah.
that's a reasonable thing to do, I guess, in a haunting. You just throw it in the garbage and make it the garbage.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
So
love
like,
that worked though.
yeah, that's what worked. It was dumping the bed, which then like, so did they live in the house for a little bit longer
They
after they
left. They
dump it,
fled
or did they?
towns.
They
They
fled.
just immediately
Wow.
left after they threw the bed, right?
I
Yeah.
guess they didn't want the
So
dead
like,
to follow it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
because like I'm trying to pinpoint what really was the problem. Was it the bed or was it like something in the walls of the house? Because
I
it's
mean,
like, what if it was just like a really light methane gas leak?
if you want me to put on like my skeptic hat, like it's 1987 Wisconsin. Like I think these people just got just satanic panic themselves.
Right.
Oh, okay. They
That would
just
make
like
sense.
Like
hyper delusion
most
themselves.
of our evidence comes from a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Like not what I would recall reliable witnesses. Age groups that have a lot of trouble differentiating between reality and fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. There's an old adage or something my mom would tell me is like, children, especially young children, small children, babies,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like there's something about them. She says it's because they're closer to God,
Mm.
because they're fresher, I guess.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
They're more
fresh out the
close to the
gates.
veil than
yeah,
we
yeah, that's
are.
what I've heard a lot. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kids and real young kids and old people are closer to
Yeah.
the veil, or like they're not as set in their ways. You know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
They're
sometimes
still.
kids will just say the darndest things.
All right.
God damn you, Bill Cosby.
Okay. Do you guys want to do a speed run of the infamous Dybbuk box? Or do you want to hear about a goblin stove?
We've talked about the Dybbuk box already, I think.
We've
A
mentioned it
little
a few
bit.
times. Should we do
Yeah.
the goblin stove?
Yeah, let's do Goblin
We'll
Stove.
save the divot box
Goblin
for another
Stove.
time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Only
give us the
dumb
goblin
magic
stove.
items.
Goblin Stove sounds awesome, actually.
Okay. So it's
Is it a goblin-sized stove, or is it a
no, it's a
stove
it's a
only used by
stove with like
goblins?
a horny goblin in it.
What?
I love it.
All right, let's get into
Kind of
it.
like
Well, you can't just say that. You're gonna give some viewers ideas.
Yeah,
it.
it's 1934, and the Palazone family of Zaragoza, Spain, have begun to hear a small masculine voice call out to them from inside their apartment.
Okay.
And as we talked about a second ago, the voice is loudest near the stove. They think it's coming from the stove.
Hmm.
So initially, they're like, we're in a big apartment building. The ventilation system on the stove is connected to every other building in this apartment,
What kind of
or every
stove
other room in this
are we talking
apartment. It's
here?
probably just some little guy in another room whispering into his stove or something.
I
What
mean, like
are we talking like?
again,
What year is it?
1934.
1934. A stove from 1934. Relatively low tech, I guess, but it's not that
it's like,
different
is it
from
like one of
stoves we
those
have
black
now.
iron?
It's hard to tell from the pictures. It looks like it's black iron, but I
Oh
think like it's
wow.
connected to a ventilation system at least.
Okay.
But I mean, like, two for two in our stories, very sensible folks that are just like, you know what? Could just be that someone is like talking and the voice got carried through the
Through the
acoustics
pipes.
of the vent.
That would make sense, huh?
Yeah,
It's an apartment.
it's an apartment. Yeah, this is one
Okay.
building in an apartment,
Oh, okay.
or one
Vent.
apartment in a building. Whatever is the more correct English way to say that.
Okay.
English
The
is my
second
first
one,
and only language.
One apartment
the
in
latter.
a apartment complex, I guess.
Yes, yes. So things got weird though because when they're made, Pascuelo. Oh God, my Spanish is not great. I should have looked up how to say this last name.
Okay,
Uh,
show it to me. Show it to me.
Alcocer,
Just tell me, I
Alcocer.
will say it. Type it out and send it to me.
All right, typing it into Discord.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes.
That's it.
That one.
Alcocer.
Huh?
Alcocer. I think it's Alcocer.
Okay, Alcocer. So Pascuela Alcocer reached for the stove and heard a voice say, "Ow, you're hurting me! You're hurting me!"
Okay.
So this spooked her. So she ran the lights. She ran out of the room, but before she ran, she turned out the lights because I guess she was very conscientious.
Yes.
And when she did that, the voice said, "Light, light! I can't see."
Uh-oh.
Weird.
From
That's
then
not
on,
good.
anytime Pascuela was in the room, the voice would like scream her name, scream or whisper her name loud enough for everybody else to hear.
Hmm.
Pasquela.
Pasquela.
Hey, don't harass her. She's doing her job.
It's
Leave her
this
alone.
also happened in the Jeff story. Like, there's a certain brand of poltergeists that live in the walls that are just weird horn dogs.
I see.
And they love fucking bothering people when they're trying to do their job.
Yes. So the family were like, "Hey, so we hear this little voice. We thought it was one of you neighbors because we thought it was an echo coming from the stove, but then it seemed to know shit that was happening in the room, and it's hitting on our maid all the time. Um, are you guys experiencing this? Are any of you guys doing this?"
No?
What did they say? They're like, no.
They're like, "No," but then the people who own the apartment were like, "Hey, can you come into our kitchen and tell us if we're fucking whacked out?" And they would come into the kitchen and they would hear the little voice and they'd be like, "No, there's definitely something fucked up going on here."
Oh man. Oh man, Goblin stove.
Okay, so this, goblin stove.
Goblin stove. You got yourself a genuine goblin stove.
Oh,
Not
man.
the goblin stove. You're gonna have to put that in a private landfill.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
man.
the only way.
It's the only way.
So rumors started to spread first around the apartment complex and then to like the nearby town that there was a goblin or ghost or duende living in the walls of the apartment building.
We love duendes.
We do.
We love
And
duendes.
people started to try to like sneak into the building or try to like meet the Palazones or sneak peeks through the windows to see if they could see the little goblin or whatever.
That's not cool.
You should do that.
Yeah.
One, terrible breach of privacy.
Absolutely.
For the Palazones.
Yeah.
And then two, don't try to meet the little creature that's like being harassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you actively want it to target you?
Good question.
You
So between
nutters.
the fucking people trying to break into their apartment and one instance where the little goblin, the stove goblin, wouldn't shut up till 5 a.m., kept everybody awake,
Wow.
the Palazons were like, "Fuck this, we're going to call the Popo."
Oh, hell yeah.
Cops on this goblin stove.
All right, Goblin Stove, we got the police here.
Well,
Come out with your hands up.
I regret to remind you that these are cops, and
Right.
also it's fascist Spain, so they
I
didn't
see.
show up.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, we have better things to do.
Like
not our
Goblin
job.
Stove.
Yeah. Goblin Stove. There's better things to not do.
Don't we have like poor people to beat up, or like, come on?
Yeah. Don't we have like a race to harass?
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, so they even went as far as calling Mr. Palazone a coward and being like, solve your Goblin Stove problem yourself.
What? I've solved my magical being issue by myself?
Hello, we're the cops. What do you want us to do about your Goblin Stove? Good day.
I don't know.
Arrest it. I don't know.
I'm at the end of my rope here, guys. Magical being in my stove, harassing my maid.
So
Wow.
eventually the cops were welcomed in to the house. They were convinced to come investigate. And the moment they walked into the kitchen, the little voice greeted them each by their full name and rank.
What the
Wow.
fuck?
Yeah.
Senor
Alright.
Dominguez.
Oh,
Lieutenant.
officer.
Officer
Sergeant.
I'm trying to think of more. There's so many cool Spanish names. I've tripped over myself here trying to think of a cool one. Banderas.
There you go.
Officer Banderas.
Lieutenant Banderas.
Z is just a very cool letter, and it's in a lot of like Spanish names. You know what I mean? Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway.
Anyway.
So, cops do nothing.
Cops do well. The cops try, to their credit. They investigate the stove, and they're like, "Well, the stove is. We can't find anything up with the stove. No listening devices. It doesn't seem to be connected to anybody else. You know."
It's a stove.
So,
Were they
shockingly,
using
the
stove? Weird
cops
question.
didn't just like fight the stove. They started
Right.
to ask it questions.
Okay.
To which the stove responded to the best of its ability, apparently. Which, like, can you imagine being the guy being like, "So, what's it like living here as a stove?" And the stove's like, you know.
So, how long have you been a stove? And I was, born as a stove.
My whole life, you know?
Yeah, but yeah,
When the
I heat
stove.
up, I cook food. Mm.
And I guess spooky again, implying that this is something in the room and not a hoax. When they would ask it questions like how many fingers I'm holding up, or be like, "Who's that over there?" the stove responded politely and correctly every time.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Um,
And no one in the room was just like a really good ventriloquist.
I mean, allegedly no, but I think that's the most prosaic explanation.
Oh man.
Anyway, one of the policemen asked the stove, "Who are you? Why are you doing this? Do you want money?"
Uh huh.
To which the stove responded, "No."
Okay.
And then the dude was like, "Are you looking for a job?" And the stove was like, "No."
I see. I like
Okay.
this. I like the stove. It's
Yeah.
not into our weird human bullshit.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, this next
Also,
question really hammers that down because the police officer asks, "Then who are you? What it is that you want, man?" To which the ghost responds, "Nothing. And I am not a man."
Hmm.
oh
Okay.
God.
Some kind of
That's
spirit.
that's the part where the stinger music plays and the
Yeah.
cops are like,
Hmm.
it starts
Something like
getting
that.
really tense and they start doing really close-up shots. It's just a hand like shaking as it reaches for his gun.
Yeah, yeah. So at this point, the cops are like, "Okay, fuck this."
They
They
shoot the
start
stove.
looking through the building, sweeping the building for any possible pranksters.
Hmm.
And it's recorded that somebody was like, "Hey, we should measure the chimney opening. Maybe there's somebody up there doing something." And the stove is like, "No one's up there, and it's only 6 inches wide." And indeed, the stove was correct. It was exactly 6 inches wide.
Hmm.
What the fuck? Who did their research? The stove did, apparently, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah.
So police put the building under constant surveillance, assuming this was a prank. And parapsychologists and actual psychologists and even priests were all brought in to investigate. Nobody found shit, and the voice made fun of them the whole time.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
That's
Also,
crazy.
good on you, Goblin Stove.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
such a bizarre story.
I love this story. I love the
It's kind of cool.
also Goblin Stove is like it's like cellar door. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
yeah.
combination of words.
Yeah, the goblin stove. Beware the goblin stove.
Open the cellar door, for
To the
we must
Goblin
see the
Stove.
Goblin
It's like the
Stove.
brood witch, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, the Brood Witch. With its curse, sun-dried tomatoes.
Does that bacon on it?
Yeah. Yeah, it has
Doesn't have
bacon
bacon.
on it.
It doesn't have bacon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
Great episode.
I love Aqua Tea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, where are
man.
you
I've been
back?
scared to return to it because I'm worried it won't age as well as I remembered it. But like,
It'll be just as you remember it, man.
Yeah.
I tell you,
All the goofiness in it
it's
will
still just as
retain.
goofy.
good.
It's like
Anyway,
going back to watch that Paul Rudd bit
Yeah.
from
what?
Adult Swim.
What
The
is
Paul
this?
Rudd
Which one?
bit. The he's in this super internet dome and he's like on his computer. He goes on his computer and he's like the computer will present him like digital constructs of himself dancing. And
Okay.
he's like, computer, what do we have new today? And it's all like, we have Todd. He's like, put up Todd. And it's him in like a gold vest and like Speedo, and he's just dancing in front of him. He's like, yeah, I like Todd. Bring up Mark, and it's just another version of him dancing. And it's like, bring back Todd, and then Todd does something weird, and it's like he just like
Oh, I've
I'm
seen that
okay.
ship.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He goes, I'm okay. It's just this weird, like, little short thing that he
I
was
mean
in
that's
for
Adult
Adult
Swim
Swim.
at its best. It's just like
Yeah.
It's
somebody
so
wrote that
funny.
and pitched that, and they filmed it as is, and like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so funny, dude.
and it aired on basic cable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it aired, and it's so funny.
It's so
R.I.P. Adult Swim.
yeah.
Thanks, Mike Laszlo, for your weird
It was,
shit.
it was great
Yeah,
while it
right?
lasted.
Anyway,
man.
Goblin Stove. Goblin Stove shuts up. Nobody hears shit about the Goblin Stove for 2 days. And the
Okay.
governor of Zaragoza is like, I just want this thing to be over.
Hmm.
So
Go
he's
on.
like, Police stop your investigation. Stop fucking with it. Everybody go home. And then 2 days after that, the stove comes back, or I guess the voice comes back. The stove doesn't move,
Mhm.
and it shouts so loud that everyone in the apartment building can hear it. And allegedly, it said, "Cowards, cowards, cowards! Here I am!" And then started doing horny goblin shit again,
Not again.
hitting on the maid,
Oh wow.
saying spooky stuff,
Mm-hmm.
having approximate knowledge of many things.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
All right, don't clip this next part. Don't clip this.
Okay.
Look at it.
The police return, and the voice would often scare them out of the building by shouting, "I'm coming! I'm coming!"
Wow.
That's evil.
Yeah, but nothing visible ever appeared.
Okay.
In
You
a
sure?
shocking twist, the Palazone family was like, "Hey, we've had enough of this shit. We're gonna move to a different apartment."
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
Does it follow him? Does the goblin still follow him?
It does not. On the order of the governor of Zaragoza, psychiatrist Joaquin Orellera accused Alcojar of protecting some kind of quote-unquote unconscious ventriloquism, even though allegedly this happened when she wasn't there.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um,
Unfair.
yeah. So the
Unfair to
press
her.
ran with the story, and in addition to the Palazons moving to a different apartment building, Alcocer was like, just moved to a different town entirely. She was like, "I'm being blackmailed. There's nothing I could do."
So
Yeah,
weird.
they needed a scapegoat, so they chose me.
Wow.
And without the family there, the voice calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped being horny.
Eventually, the building would be torn down and replaced by a more modern apartment building, which still stands there. And very occasionally, people who are in that apartment building say that they still hear the horny goblin stove.
Yay,
But which
he
stove could
lives.
it be?
You never know which stove I'm coming from.
I'm
That's
coming.
crazy.
I'm coming.
Ah.
That's the stupid haunted and/or cursed magic items I got for you. Again,
Hell
if we were facing maybe like one or two less catastrophes right now, I could have made some room to talk about some Christine T items. But enjoy these goofy dumb stories.
yeah. How about these slightly weirder and cursed in kind of a different way items?
Yeah. What
Oh,
do you
man.
want? You have to. You have your apartment has to have one. Are you going for goblin stove or haunted bunk bed? Now, keep in mind the haunted bunk bed is a bunk bed, so you and
I
a bud can chill in it.
The thing about the goblin stove, it's unclear if they ever use the stove. Do they use the stove? Do they like bake with it and cook with it?
Presumably, before the goblin showed up, they started cooking with it.
Right, but ever
So it was
since
just the
goblin
stove
showed
that
up,
came with their apartment, you know?
but they
Yeah.
never used it when the goblin was in it.
Post,
Right?
yeah.
I think they
post
must have,
goblin
because how else do you cook food? But like, it's
Mm.
not
Yeah,
specifically in the text I found, which like,
and that's like such
I
an
don't speak
important part
Spanish.
of.
I had to rely on translated sources and summaries.
I see.
Like, they didn't
And
explicitly say that.
and cooking
Oh,
such
shit.
an important part of like a home,
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
know, and like being in a
That's
home,
integral.
you know, and
And they
just,
didn't
like
have a microwave back then.
Mhm.
yeah. So it's just really
So,
bad. It's a bad situation. I hope nobody has a goblin stove these days.
Right?
Sounds like you're coming down on the side of haunted bunk bed.
Yeah.
Every time, like now that we've said goblin stove so much,
Mhm.
I've like come up with like an image of what the stove could look like.
I'm imagining
Very good.
like one of those old school like iron stoves
Yeah, like the
that's
cast
got
iron stoves.
Yeah,
that
here.
that like glows green or something.
That indicates the goblin energy.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the stove.
Okay.
Like it's okay.
Okay.
It's just like you said, it's a
Oh,
black iron, you know.
it's an old school stove. Wow.
It's
It's
full of
kinda-
stovery.
It's yeah. Back in the day. Wow, in Spain.
Yep.
Wow.
Just a classic goblin stone
Well, stove.
stove.
Oh man, that's kind of cool. Yeah, it does kind of just look like an old school stove. Anyway, talking too much about the stove.
You came here for ghosts, but you're going to be on the edge of your seat when we talk about 100-year-old stoves.
Yeah. Anyway, oh man, thank you, John. Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, no
Trying
problem.
times these are, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be doing this again. I'm glad we get to chat and hang out. And thank you for joining us. Um, let's see, we'll be here again 2 weeks from now. Thank you, Jesse Sanders, for making our music. Um,
Mm.
write us an email if you want. A link to do so in the description. Uh,
Hmm.
comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll be grateful if you do. Donate if you can. Yeah,
Mm.
it's tough out here, man. It's tough.
Buy us a coffee.
Buy us a coffee. I need it so bad. I need my
Whoa,
coffee, man.
look at that stove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's actually a pretty dope stove.
It's a pretty cool stove.
Yeah. I bet it still works too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it does the thing that it needs to do.
But yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of your communities.
Yeah.
Watch out for your loved ones.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.